All right, thank you for coming to our, I had to print out the description for this one. Mindfulness and micro self-care practices. So my idea for this one is that it is Blue Monday. Sometimes it's debated which Monday of January is Blue Monday, but it's a time of year where our energy and our mental attitude can really tank, right? So we have maybe the fun of the holiday season and we're seeing everybody, and then Blue Monday can sometimes be thought of as like a sad hangover after the holiday. For a lot of people, it's this time of the year when we give up on our New Year's resolution. New year, new me, never mind, it's cold outside, and then we beat ourselves up. Often the bills start to come in from Christmas and we realize, oh no, we were a little too spendy. So all of these factors compound to make this Blue Monday. I don't know who did the math to figure this out, but this is what they say. It is the saddest day of the year. So I'm glad you are here with maybe smiles on your faces to take part in some mindfulness practices together. We'll do them in little bite-sized pieces so you can take what you like and leave what you don't. You might like to take notes, but I'm going to record this and I'm going to post it so you can watch it again later, maybe take notes the second time through if that's what you prefer. But what can I say? I usually like to start with very mini practices to kind of wipe the slate clean, shake the Etch-a-Sketch, and start fresh. And then we'll bulk out our practices to be a little bit longer. I will give us some information up top before we really dive in, but let's start with one of my favorite practices. This is new to my life. I bought a new book. I couldn't resist. Ichigo, Ichie. And it's this concept that the moment that we were in will never come again. Maybe slightly different iterations of it, but you will be different and I will be different, and it will be a fresh moment every time it comes. So I like this Ichigo, Ichie practice as a way to kind of reset and be present. If your mind was wandering off into fantasies of past or future, bring it in. And anytime I think of it through the day, I just say to myself internally or out loud, Ichigo, Ichie. And I notice that this is the present moment. So I invite you to join me in that. Feel free to say it out loud or in your head, Ichigo, Ichie, and notice that this moment is unique. I love this book. The title of the book is called Ichigo, Ichie. And it is so beautifully and poetically written. My favorite line from the book is, "The moments of our lives pass like tears in the rain." So by using this practice, pausing mindfully, Ichigo, Ichie, we can sort of pause the rainfall and notice each one of the drops. I invite you to do it at any point in time, and let's do it once more together, acknowledging that this moment is fresh and different from the last one. Feel free to say it out loud or in your mind, noticing the present moment. Ichigo, Ichie. Wonderful. Okay, let me give us a little bit more information about Blue Monday, what can help, and maybe some hope for any of us with New Year's resolutions. So, what is Blue Monday? I think I sort of covered that. It's often the third or fourth Monday in January. There's some debate, but it can be a pretty blue month. And then I think after January is over, we've made it through the worst of winter largely. We have the days that thaw out a little bit more in February. We have more hours of daylight and our mood can lift us up. So what can help us, or what can contribute to this season of darkness? This can be a really lonely time of year. It's tougher to get out, right? It's cold, maybe the pipes freeze, you don't want to have your friends over, you don't want to leave because you haven't showered. Everybody is busy doing all sorts of stuff, getting a jump back on the work week if you had a long vacation. Often we beat ourselves up about all the food that we shouldn't have had, maybe the alcohol we shouldn't have had, weight gain, things like that. And then there can be a real slump in yoga, what we call low prana foods or low energy foods. But the great thing is that we're starting fresh. So that's not forever. So if you notice you're feeling really sluggish and kind of icky, and then you think back and you think, oh yeah, how much high prana or high value food did I eat? And if the answer is not very much, then that's a little tip for where we can go to bring our energy up. So this is one of our first little lifestyle things, is that we can prioritize high prana foods or high energy foods, and it's energy that lasts. So often people say food that burns like coal. So we're talking vegetables. Grandma was right. We should eat them all day, every day. Don't limit yourself on veggies. You can season them really nicely. You can have a lot of fun with that. Lean protein, and then whatever else you think is part of your health and wellness routine. If you're a smoothie person or a salad person, a cooked food person, whatever that might be, go ahead, lean into the foods you love that are good for you, but it can be a very nice time of year to run the slow cooker as some yummy aromatherapy in the house. The other thing I will say around prana and energy in terms of yoga, turn the lights on and sit up straight and take a deep breath. If you notice your energy is really slumped and your posture is really slumped, we're not going to feel better by being really slumpy sitting around in the dark. So one of the best tips we can do is flip on the lights when we get up. And this is our next micro practice. Just reach up and take a deep breath in. Instantly, we should feel maybe a 2% boost, maybe more. Big breath in, big stretch. Maybe we make a fist or wiggle our fingers, and then we can release. Let's do that one more time. We can picture ourselves getting out of bed. Our energy is low, but we're going to give it a big stretch overhead. Wonderful. Okay, those are our two simple practices. Ichigo, Ichie, stretch up and take a big breath in. And then let's talk about making our routines sticky. So if we want to stick to a new habit or behavior change, a couple of things I will suggest to make our habits stickier. And one of the things that I realized recently about behavior change is a habit has to relieve pain. So often people will say, I don't know why I don't go to the gym more. I feel great when I finish. I don't know why I don't do yoga more. I feel great when I finish. Well, were you in pain before you started? Were you saying to yourself all day, oh, I really wish I were sweating and huffing and puffing? Probably not. You were probably saying, I can't wait to get home and not be at work anymore. So we can, in a sick way, find out how to make it painful when we don't do the task that we want to do. So we can find a way to say, oh, if I don't go to the gym, all my friends are there. I'm going to miss them. It's painful if I don't go. A lot of people really love this don't break the chain technique. Get a calendar specific to your habit and put a sticker or an X on it every day so you can see this chain. And people feel so much pain if they miss one day. And it doesn't always have to be going to the gym, of course. It could be whatever your other goals are. And if exercising and fitness are one of your goals, I always want to say, build rest and recovery into that. So you can still say to yourself, oh, it's a rest day. Do a few stretches. Don't break the chain. Give yourself a sticker or check on that day. So build rest into your habits so that we can have success every day. Okay, the other thing I want to say about relieving pain that we will get into is tapping. I've really been leaning into tapping a lot lately because if we remember to use it during times of discomfort, pain, whatever word you want to use, it relieves our pain. So if you think to yourself, okay, I need more of a meditation practice, more of a mindful practice, or I wish I could eat better and exercise, or whatever it might be, but I just can't. I'm always in a bad mood. Well, guess what? We're going to relieve that pain by doing some tapping. So that's my little tip for you, is find the pain and relieve the pain if we're looking for a healthy habit. And then, of course, we know the reward will happen as well. And if there's no reward, then why are we doing that healthy habit in the first place, right? So find your why, find your pain, and if we have both of those, then we have both the carrot and the stick, right? Oh no, if I miss the gym, I won't be with my friends. I'll be so sad. And then afterwards, we have the reward. Oh, I feel so much better now. So I don't know if that sticks for any of you, but hopefully the carrot and the stick metaphor will help you achieve your goals. So we're going to relieve some pain with some tapping. We can imagine, before we come into tapping, maybe thinking about a time when you would like to tap. So often it's first thing in the morning to boost our energy. Tapping is really helpful. Often it's to motivate ourselves to do something we don't want to do. So think about whatever that might be, or maybe to help you fall asleep at night. We're going to picture ourselves in that moment, and we are going to do a very brief tap. This is one of my favorite ways to tap. We can do it when we are in moments of pain, because often when we're struggling with something, the language centers of our brain either shut down or play the same sort of thought, looping and looping and looping. And we want to disrupt that pattern. So here is our basic tap that we can use whenever you think you need to use it. We're just going to breathe and tap through our tapping points. Usually we start with the karate chop point. And if you've never done tapping before, just monkey see, monkey two. You can't over tap, you can't under tap, you're not going to break yourself. We're just going to breathe. Take a few deep breaths. Tapping, this is supposed to create an emotional shift. And if you would like to do it double strength, sometimes people tap the 2 karate chop points together. We're thinking about our issue, and we are opening ourselves to feeling that issue lift. Maybe not completely, maybe just 2%, but we're looking forward to that. And then we go top to bottom through our tapping points. Top of the head, we can do one hand or both. Of course, if there's any pain in the shoulder, we just skip it. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Sometimes it helps to boost our mood to do a sharp exhale. We can go the inside of the eyebrow. So if we're looking for more energy, maybe a sharp exhale. And then on the outside of the eye. And if we're looking to wind down our energy, a long exhale. Underneath the eye, breath in and out. Yogi's choice, more energy, sharp exhale. Feeling relaxed, longer exhale. Under the nose, breath in and out. And the chin. And then we'll spend a little longer here just under the collarbones. So I think part of the reason that this time of year is so difficult is because we are going through grief, even if we don't realize it. We're sad the holiday season is over. We're grieving the loss of the holiday season. It's a dark time of year. Maybe we're missing the summer sun. Maybe we have negative associations with the winter. And the collarbones relate to the air element and feelings of grief. So if we breathe deeply here, we lift our heart, let the ribcage expand fully, it can help us to release feelings of grief. And then let's do under the arm. And I'm going to mirror you for these, so we can do under the left arm. Again, this is supposed to boost our energy because we're lifting our arm. Any pain, we can just bring it a little bit lower if that's more comfortable. And then we're going to do, on the right side, the front of the rib, our liver point. So this is supposed to release anger. And maybe there's some sort of upset or inner turmoil going on in our lives. We can breathe here and hopefully let it go. Okay, let's do much quicker. We'll go through all the points top to bottom so that you could repeat this on your own if you wanted. Top of the head, breath in and out. Inside the eyebrow. And they say tapping, 8 times, 1 round of breath under the eye. But anything we can do to create that emotional shift under the nose to get us moving in the right direction. And the chin. Releasing grief under the collarbones. Energizing under the left arm. And releasing anger on the liver spot, the right side, right upper quadrant. of the abdomen. And then we'll pause. Maybe we want to take hands to heart center to help us turn our attention inward, eyes opened or closed, noticing how we're feeling now. If we wanted to feel more calm or relaxed, we could tuck our chin. And if we want to feel more energized, we can leave the head lifted in a more energetic posture. Maybe use a few words or even a single word to describe how you're feeling. Making note of if this was a useful practice for you. And then we'll release this and let it go. Beautiful. And we'll stay on the note of grief and anger, and we'll do some very short practices, and then we'll dive back into our tapping. So let's do the shortest practice. Anything that crosses the body is supposed to disrupt our minds, and we can break a pattern that way, and in this case, emotionally. So any sort of tough feelings we've been having, we're supposed to be able to break through them by doing this. So we're going to pinch opposite ears. If it's uncomfortable, we could pinch same ears. Go ahead, give them a good pinch. Just notice how we're feeling internally. We're going to take a deep breath in, and then a sharp exhale, we let it go. So we really only have to do it once technically to make it a micro practice, but for good measure, let's do it a couple more times so we remember. Opposite ears. Give it a good pinch. Some people like to rub or pinch quite aggressively. Maybe we want to make a face like we just ate a lemon. Take a big breath in, and then a sharp breath out. We can release. Okay, one more time. And we can always play around with it, how long we want to inhale for, how aggressive we want to be with the arms. But let's let it go. Perfect. There we are. Same thing, checking inward, noticing how that practice worked for you. If you might like to do it again in the future to create a shift in our emotions. And we'll do 2 styles of breathing that again are supposed to release emotions. They're similar but different. Let's start with the one, this is actually from a kids yoga training that I took, but I promise it works just as well for adults. So apparently, people in daycare centers do this. I've never worked at a daycare center, but this is what they say. They teach kids to do what's called crying breath. So if they feel they're getting overwhelmed and they're going to start to cry, they can do this breath and it diffuses the emotions. And it looks like this. You pretend you're going to cry and then you do a big sigh. Maybe inhale 3 times. And it's lots of fun to do with kids. So let's channel our inner child and do it 3 times here. All right, follow me. 1, go. 2. And last one. So maybe we can see how if you're feeling, you know how you sort of feel feelings push up internally? There's like a physiological response. You feel a lump in your throat or you've been holding on to emotions for a while. You can get a feeling of like a fist in your chest. This sort of can help diffuse that. You might even like to do it with the hands, but we'll do a second variation of this. So that's the one that's for kids. That's the kid stuff. It's fun. This is the serious one. For adults, it's called stair stepper breath. We imagine we're going up a set of stairs. For whatever reason, the technique is done with 7 stairs. Lucky number 7. So we do 7 sips to inhale and then a long exhale. You might like to do voiced as we did, or you might like to just do a quiet exhale. That's up to you. But it looks like this. So we'll do 7 inhales. And then an exhale from the mouth. Okay? Join me. I will not talk you through it because I'm going to be breathing, but I will show the numbers with my fingers if you would like to breathe at the same time as me. Let's do just one together to see how it feels. All right? 3, 2, 1, go. Cool. Okay, let's try it again. See if we can do a longer, slower exhale, or a really sharp exhale, or a voiced exhale. So we can play with it. If you did voice the first time, maybe this time let's try a long, slow exhale. 3, 2, 1, here we go. And when we run out of air, notice how we're feeling. Maybe feels a little different. Maybe we're feeling our state shift. Let's do it one more time. This time we can breathe in through the nose and then exhale, nose or mouth. Option to make noise, to not make noise. Maybe this time we try a sharp exhale for some variety. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, 7 steps. Checking inward. Again, maybe we want to take hands to heart center, noticing how that sharp inhale and exhale exercise helped us to feel. And as always, feel free to take notes about any thoughts that you have, any intuitions or reflections. And I should also note that I am breathing quite loudly to try to get some of the sound picked up in the recording. You can breathe as quietly as you like, so you could be doing this to help you shift your state. You know, you could sneak into the bathroom for a couple minutes if you're somewhere stressful. If you're in the car, maybe you don't want to do it too exaggerated. So you can make it much more subtle, so it's something that you can take with you. That's the travel-sized version, to do it in a more subtle way. So that was our stair stepper breath and our crying breath. Let's dive into a longer set of tapping. So like I said, one of my favorite styles of tapping is just to tap and breathe and not think about it, because when we're really stressed, it's not the time to think, oh, is there a good tapping script I could use? What tapping script would help me feel motivated to get out of bed today? We don't have the energy for that. So if we feel like a mental backlog, we can just tap and breathe. But I did want to give us some scripted tapping. So we're going to do some tapping to help us open our third eye and picture a beautiful future ahead of us to give us a little mood boost. And I always want to say, when we go through tapping practices, change the words up however you like. So maybe you think the language I'm using is too fluffy or not specific enough for you. This is the beauty of doing tapping at home. You can make it work for you, right? So if I say the traditional tapping line is, I fully and deeply love and accept myself. And most people are okay with that, but maybe 60% of the population likes it, and the other 40 says, there is no way I'm ever going to say that. So you can say, I'm okay, I accept myself, I'm trying out this tapping thing, whatever. We can always change the words. You might find that the words I use are not appropriate to you. Change it. However you like, you can just tap and breathe. You can make it up as you go along. Maybe I'm making it up as I go along. Okay, let's dive into our official tapping script. Feel free to tap with both hands as we did already. I'm going to hold the script, so I'm probably only going to tap with one. And like I said, we always start with our karate chop point. We can tap fingers on the karate chop or our two chops together. And this is something that I've started doing differently recently, is tapping while we're talking. So you might even notice you're on the phone and you're stressed, and you could just tap while you talk. Instead of writing a journal entry, maybe you're talking to yourself while you're going for a walk and you're thinking, you know, I set these New Year's resolutions and I haven't met them yet. So we can tap and talk at the same time. And you think, oh, I wonder what would help me have a better day. Instead of saying these thoughts inside our minds, it can help to tap it out. If you have a trusted friend who will accept this with you, you can tap while you have a conversation. And it really does help to match movement and words to sort of get stuff out better, to have better mental clarity. We can feel more connected if we're doing it together. So I thought I would use this as an opportunity to teach while I tap. Hopefully you will retain the information. Okay, thinking about everything that's happened in the past year and a bit, everything that's yet to come in the near future, seeing if any feelings come up. And we can say to ourselves, no matter what has happened, past, present, or future, I love and accept myself. All sorts of stuff has happened, and lots of things are yet to come, but I'm okay with myself here. I'm ready to look back and move forward, standing in the present. All right, and we go through our tapping points. Even though my life is chugging along, I'm ready to draw in some more optimism. And the inside of the eyebrow. I am open to something really big happening. Outside of the eye, I'm full of gratitude for what I already have. Under the eye, and I love the idea that something is coming. Under the mouth, I am grateful for what I have, and I'll be grateful for when I have something more. And under the chin, something really cool is about to happen to me. One or both hands on the collarbones. I cannot believe what a year it has been. Under the arm, so many ups and downs. On the liver point, some really hard moments. And the top of the head, some silver linings. Inside the eyebrow, unfinished business and some regrets. Outside of the eye, so many things I didn't get to do. Under the eye, things I had to do but didn't want to do. Under the nose, and then just the day-to-day ho-hum. And on the chin, I begin now to open myself up to a new year of possibilities. And the collarbone, I begin now to dream of the new year to come. Under the arm, I open myself up to a sense of possibility. And the liver, I feel safe being optimistic. Top of the head, something amazing is on its way. Inside the eyebrow, it's already started, it's already lined up. Outside the eye, I'm in the right mindset, so I'll know it when I see it. Under the eye, I'm in the right mindset, so I can leap at the chance. Under the nose, I will seize the opportunity. And the chin, I can't wait to be telling all my friends, you'll never guess what happened. and the collarbone. I'm ready to feel good. And under the arm. Something amazing is coming. And on the liver point, and I'll know to grab it when I see it. All right, let's leave it there. Might feel good to do maybe a little bit more tapping. Maybe we want to pinch and open or stretch overhead. This is your poetic time to add any sort of movements you feel are good. Noticing again how we're feeling, how that landed for you. If tapping is something you want to add to your routine, if you've never done it before, make a mental note. And then we will get moving. We've been sitting for quite a while, so I think it is time for us to loosen up. We'll do some just basic movements. If we're not already on our yoga mats, we might like to be there. If we're in a chair, that's okay too. We can modify as needed. Okay, we're sitting up tall, and let's start with just some basics, noticing if there are any kinks that we need to be worked out. We can invite in some movement of the shoulders. We just did a whole lot of thinking, breathing, talking, listening. Maybe we want to give the head a little shake to start fresh, or an inhale through the nose and out through the mouth. I know I do tend to throw a lot of information at you. Let's slide those shoulder blades down and back, and we'll warm up our arms. Let's do a big inhale, deep breath in like we did earlier. And then hands come in to our heart, remembering our grief line. It is okay to grieve. It is okay to let it go. Inhaling up, and then bringing our fingertips back to our collarbones. Let's do a couple more like this. Moving at our own pace, so maybe I breathe a little faster or a little slower than you. That's okay. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And bring it into our hearts. Beautiful. And let's do it out to the side. Inhaling open and exhaling, bringing it into our hearts. This time of year can be very, we try to warm our bodies up by squeezing in tightly, right? So anything we can do to open out, squeeze the back of the body is great for balance, can build warmth by squeezing our muscles, and can also relieve pain in the neck and jaw, especially if we're spending a lot of time, on our phones or snacking or anything that closes us in. Opening out can be great. All right, let's take our hands in behind. We'll lift our hearts into a variation of cat so we can really stretch our bellies out, squeezing our backs. And then let's reach forward, stretch our backs in a variation of cat. So I'll show us from the side. If we're sitting on a chair, we can always hold the chair, the arms of the chair or the seat, rounding our backs one way, and then rounding our backs the other. We could do a tight tuck with the chin, and then lifting it up, lifting our eyes and our eyebrows. Let's go a couple more times each way. So I wanted to give us some usable physical practices that we can build into our day, and this would be a great one if we've been sitting for a while, just to get some kinks out. Get some blood flowing, get some movement happening. We'll come back through center, and let's take our spines side to side. So let's actually do what we already did. We'll pinch our ear. We'll pinch our same ear this time, and then draw the elbow up to the side, inhaling, and then we'll take it to the other side. So this, again, can create a break in our pattern. So if you have never done yoga before, well then all of this is a break in your pattern. Pinching the ear is kind of a funny thing to do, but even if you have done a lot of yoga and exercise before, adding some novelty like this can change our state. There's something different to notice. Our stretching routine isn't just, an old habit, but that we're bringing something fresh into it and thinking, oh, this is different. What's going on here? So it can bring a sense of freshness and newness. All right, let's lift up, elbow up, and then if we like, we can stretch the entire arm overhead. We'll pause here. Big breath in to stretch the underarm. And of course, we never have to fully straighten our arms, especially if you have been sitting for a long time, it can get really tight. Let's take it the other way. Ear first, elbow up, shoulder blade down. And then if we like, we can reach the arm overhead, acknowledging our limitations, working with them. And then we're coming back through center. Let's take our spines through rotation. So let's start with a small rotation. We'll take our thumbs to the sternum, and without moving our arms, we're going to turn and rotate one way. So we might not actually go that far, and then come back through center. Let's go the other way, and then back through center. And I don't have a heck of a lot of rotation. Some of you at home may be much more twisty than I am, but we're probably not moving very far. Usually our twists in yoga are done with these big arm movements, and actually if we take the arm movement out, we can see more clearly. Wait a second, I don't actually move that much. Is it just my arms moving? So this is using our core strength, the strength in our abs and our backs to pull us into the rotation. So we're warming up using strength. And now that we've warmed up that range of motion, let's use our arms. We can draw ourselves a bit further into the movement. So we can take opposite hand to knee or thigh, or if we were sitting in a chair with arms, we could hold the arm of the chair, sitting tall, turning to look over our back shoulder if we can. And it probably feels nice to get a deeper range of motion after we warmed up that strong and small range of motion. Let's go the other way. We can inhale center, make sure our hearts are lifted, and let's twist the other way. All right, we'll come back through center. I don't know why this one's called the lawnmower, but we do it with both arms. So not like a real lawnmower. We're gonna reach our arms forward, and we're gonna work that rotation, pulling one elbow back at a time. So again, engaging upper back, engaging our sense of strength and warmth. Maybe we wanna use a sharper breath as we exhale. And maybe we're feeling looser and looser each time. So the next time our right arm goes back, let's pull deeper into a twist with our lawnmower arms. And then the front arm, our left arm, we can just rest, but let's keep pulling that elbow back so we're strong through the upper back, and then still open across the collarbones. So maybe when we were reaching to the opposite knee, we really caved in across the chest. This way, we can stay open across the chest, feeling maybe light and lifted, channeling that element of air across our collarbones. We'll come back through center, breath in. Same thing on the other side, start a lawnmower, pull the elbow way back, and now the right arm can just hang out. So we've got lots of strength through the upper back. On the left side, open across the collarbones, channeling the element of air. Exhaling, we're letting go of, maybe we're noticing some physical tension or some emotions that we're ready to let go of, or maybe thought patterns we're ready to release with our next exhale. And we can come back through center. All right, we warmed up our spine, moving in all directions. If we can, let's move into child's pose, and we'll do some different stretches. We could call this more of a recovery practice. So we're sitting down and back into child's, arms extending forward. So like I was saying, if we want to exercise every day, something like this could be considered a rest day. So maybe we're only exercising 2 days a week, and we can put this into rest. And of course, if exercise is not any goal of yours, it's still a good reset, maybe to clear our minds, get our bodies going, shift our emotional state. Let's come on down to our bellies. So I know this is an acquired taste for many of us. So the best approximation of this, and there is a variation you can do on the edge of a bed, if you prefer, or in a bed instead of on the edge. It's a much more aggressive variation to let your head hang off the edge of the bed and then lift up. or in a bed, it's much softer and more comfortable. But like I said, we're going to work the back and open the front. Let's do a variation of cobra. So maybe we're using our hands to help us lift up. Maybe we're tucking chin to chest or pulling the nose back, strengthening the upper back, stretching the front line of the body. We could even incorporate a little bit of tapping here, releasing any tension through the chest. Taking a couple breaths, and we won't be here for too long. We can go ahead and lower down into a variation of sleeping crocodile, maybe lowering one cheek to the back of our hands. And since some of us might really love this one, we do have the option to lift up a second time, and maybe we're interlacing in behind. So let's be realistic with how much movement you do. This one might feel great. This one might be close to impossible or maybe really painful. So we could do, even just lying on the stomach might be a huge stretch for some of us. So let's see if we can practice acceptance wherever we are. And then as we're ready, we are going to make our way back into child. So we might like to lower down again into sleeping crocodile. Give the legs a bit of a release or shake the hips off. And then as we're ready, we'll make our way back into child's pose. And some of us may even prefer downward facing dog or any other pose that feels like a reset for the body. And once more, we'll come to a seated position. All right, we'll reset our spines, tall. And let's do a variation of butterfly stretch here before we make our way down onto our backs. So instead of a really tight butterfly stretch, I prefer the legs to be further out. So we're making more of an open diamond shape. Sit up tall. And then bring our bodies forward to feel a gentle stretch in this position. And anything that stretches the inner thighs or around the hips can again create an emotional shift, right? If we're thinking about stress in the body, often we're really closed in and tight, or maybe you sit with one leg crossed over the other all day long. Anything we can do to stretch the lower body, really, thighs, hips, we're in good shape to feel looser and more comfortable. So noticing how this one feels for you might be positive. You want to add it to your practice, and if not, that's okay too. And the reason I chose this one for today is because often as we come out of the pose, our feet and ankles might want to crack, because we've stretched the outside of the ankles, and it's a time of year when our ankles get really tight from wearing heavy boots. So we can come out of this and circle one ankle at a time, wiggle our toes, and the other, point and flex. And if we do get any popping and cracking, that might be kind of fun. And then we are ready to bring it all the way down onto our back. So we'll do some relaxation stretches, and then I'll lead us through a guided meditation. So let's make ourselves comfortable, noticing how we're feeling now that we're down here on the floor. And we'll take a moment to really settle in and meet our own needs. So sometimes we get down here on the floor and then we think, oh, the floor is really cold. I probably should have put a blanket down. No rush. Maybe go and get a blanket, pair of socks, a sweater, anything else you need. And for those of us who are still here, I'll reiterate what we've already done. So we can start right from the very top of our program today, noticing Ichigo, Ichie. This moment is unique. And it may feel good to do a stair stepper breath or a crying breath. Letting that feeling go. And then once we've met our own needs, whatever you needed to take a break and do, or maybe it'll come up again, feel free to do that. But let's go ahead and bring knees to chest. And we'll get into our ankles again. Pointing and flexing, wiggling the toes, circling. And I find often when I lie down for sleep, and the same thing that my clients say, is they feel a lot of tension in their feet or feelings of unrest in their feet. So we'll do some movement here. Another thing that's nice before bed is to soak the feet in warm water. Or you can get those slippers that warm up, which can be quite nice. And it's becoming more and more common. People are making New Year's resolutions that are sleep related. So that might be a nice tip that you would like to help you sleep. Believe it or not, warming the hands and feet before bed, and even the face, can be very helpful for sleep. Hands, feet, and face if we want to fall asleep at night. And if you're really tired in the afternoon, the opposite. Cool hands, cool face in the afternoon. Okay, let's take our hands to our knees. Let's circle our knees. We could use our hands to help us with this one. I actually don't find that very comfortable. I prefer to let my hands rest and circle the legs, maybe one at a time, maybe both together. Loosening up our hips. And let's open into happy baby. So again, another one that is supposed to release our emotions because it's an inner thigh stretch. We can hold the back of the thighs to start. Knees can open wide. And then we're doing a big sumo squat on the ceiling. So we're flexing our feet towards the ceiling. If we like, we can hold our ankles. Maybe we're holding our pant legs. Traditionally, this one is done with our first two fingers holding our big toe. And we have some strength going on here. So our big toe pushes up as our fingers pull down. We're kicking our feet into our hands, and our upper body is strong, pulling down. So it gives us more sensation. We're not just limply holding ourselves here. We're pressing up with the legs and pulling down with the arms. We could be rocking side to side, maybe bending and straightening one at a time. And since we've compressed our bodies closed, let's open our bodies up. We'll bring our knees back to chest and then let our feet go. Wherever they land is probably perfect. We'll lift our hips up into a bridge pose. Might feel nice to tuck the shoulder blades under the back or make a strong fist and really dig the elbows down to help us lift up. And if this one is a real challenge for the lower body, we can even use our hands to help lift the hips. But again, this idea of stretching the front line of the body to release, open up, breathe easy, breathe more deeply. Help ourselves to feel good and more energized. All right, let's lower all the way down. Yogi's choice. Shake that off, do whatever we feel we need to do. And I'm going to lead us through a guided meditation. But I'll leave you for a moment. If there's any final stretch you feel you would like to do, maybe a twist or a figure four kind of stretch. So again, tuning inward, responding as needed. And then we'll finish lying on our backs. So if you are lying down, you are in the perfect place. I'm going to sit up so that I can, again, read to us from a script. So this is it. We're done. We're going to lie on our backs. I will lead us through a meditation. If you are finishing up any final stretch or pose or breathing technique you wanted to do, all the more power to you, but get comfy. We're going to be here for the rest of our time. So depending on what you're used to, it might be a little bit of a longer meditation. We still have almost 10 minutes. And I'll give us a preamble. So we will do a longer version of this, but you can make it a bite-sized version of yourself at any point during your day, we will do the yin and yang of self-compassion. So sort of that carrot and the stick that I talked about earlier. Sometimes we just need to have a little pity party for ourselves and go, boo-hoo, I'm sad and that's okay. And sometimes I picture, your coach saying, get in there, suck it up. And both energies are beneficial. So I'll lead us through visualization and mental prompts. Like I said, you can just lie down for the rest of our time together. Stay comfortable. So we're going to move through yin and yang energy. So let's begin with our yin energy. So we can picture sort of the energy of a warm bath, total acceptance wrapped around you. We're stepping into a warm bath of self-compassion. And maybe you know that quote, it's ironic that only when I accept myself as I am can I change. So we are stepping into this warm bath of unwavering love and acceptance. And we'll use an acronym here to work our way through. So noticing what kind of feelings come up for you when you think about the year ahead and what kind of emotional state you're going through these days. And let's take a moment to validate our feelings. So maybe we take a hand across our heart and saying to ourselves, I'm just going to honor how I'm feeling. I'm acknowledging, maybe I don't like it, but I see the reality and I'm just going to honor how I'm feeling. And then we imagine ourselves moving through the rest of the year peacefully. Maybe we want to picture ourselves walking through the rest of the year in a little bubble, a white bubble full of calm, peaceful energy. And know that we don't have to do it all at once. We can accept ourselves and take small steps. Whatever's coming up, we can break it down, chunk it into manageable little pieces. And our yin energy of acceptance and self-compassion also includes being our own little cheerleader, applauding ourselves. So let's give ourselves a little pat on the back internally for coming out here tonight and doing this practice, saying, yeah, I'm just going to honor that. I did that. I made it out to this class tonight. I'm doing good for myself. And then we lighten the load. So maybe we feel we've been putting a lot of heavy pressure on ourselves. Often what comes up around resolutions is all these shoulds. It should be this way, it should be that way. I should eat 5 to 10 servings of vegetables a day. And let's lighten the load. Let's take the pressure off. Remember that we are doing things to benefit ourselves. No one's perfect 100% of the time. And finally, let's sweeten this arrangement, bringing to mind one way we can reward our own efforts in the near future. So we have something to look forward to, a little dopamine boost, some joy in the near future, maybe this weekend, to reward ourselves for whatever you're working on, for everything you've made it through. Maybe you have a specific goal. Bringing to mind something nice to sweeten the deal. And then let's move into our yang of self-compassion. So this is our strong kind of warrior energy. Often they call it mama bear energy, right? If you go near mama bear's cubs, oh, the gloves come off. She's ready to fight. So this is where we kind of, I picture, you know, hitting yourself with a ruler, being like, get in there, come on. This is the energy for me when I know I should be doing something and I'm kind of prodding myself and I think, all right, I'm going. It's that kind of, all right, come on, here we go. Energy that we have to fight for ourselves, protect ourselves, and to coach ourselves. So we've already accepted ourselves with love and warmth wrapped around ourselves, and it's in that same energy of love, we're ready to fight for ourselves. And again, we go through another acronym. I will post it in the video link. So we describe to ourselves what's going on in our lives that we're working on right now. So maybe saying, I'm struggling with ... or I'm stressed that I should be ... and you fill in the blank. Describe. And then we express our feelings around this issue. So it makes me feel, and it could be, you know, it makes me feel tense. It could be a physical feeling, or it makes me feel anxious. It could be an emotional feeling, or both. Okay, so we express how we feel. And then we think about how we need to assert ourselves, asking for or stating what is needed. So this is where we sometimes need to set boundaries with ourselves or others. What needs to happen? Assert ourselves. Ask for or state what is needed. And then we reinforce our why. What will happen if what is needed is not attained? And maybe this helps us lighten the load. Sometimes we ask ourselves, what's going to happen if I don't achieve my goal? And the answer is, well, nothing. Or nothing in the short term. So we can make it more of a long-term process. Reinforce. What's going to happen if I don't achieve this goal? And then our mama bear appearance. In our bodies, let's appear to be confident. So we can picture ourselves standing tall, or even as you're lying on the yoga mat, sliding the shoulders away from the ears, feeling strong even in this supine position. And we can picture ourselves achieving whatever we need. And let's add one more thing to our list of fighters. And I've got this from Eat, Pray, Love, the book, the movie. They think about writing a petition and who would sign it. And they pull all sorts of people from the past and the present. And you can think to yourself, who would be on your list? Who would really be rooting for you? Maybe it's Marilyn Monroe because she was so supportive of other women. Or maybe it's someone you know in your neighborhood. Maybe it's some influencer on YouTube, whatever it might be. Think about who would be on your list that would help you channel that mama bear energy and that warrior energy and also that loving, warm bath energy. Bring a couple people to mind. You could spend as long as you like bulking out this list. There's no limit. So now we know we have our inner strength and a supportive list of people. Even just knowing that one person would be on your side, one person who inspires you, someone you really know or someone from history, doesn't matter. Picture them cheering you on. And then, of course, picturing ourselves. Picture you cheering you on. And we might like to cross our hands over our heart one last time to close our practice together, acknowledging the hard work that you did to come out here and commit to yourself. We have survived Blue Monday. We made it. Hope you're feeling a little boosted. And that's our practice for today. From my light to yours, namaste.